Good evening, everyone, and welcome joining us tonight. Sorry, my English is done for the day. Let's try that again. Good evening and welcome to tonight's webinar. It has been a busy day, as you can hear, but we are so glad that you're joining us, and we have a lot to share with you tonight. Just as a quick introduction, my name is Magdalene de Kok and I am the project lead for Cure Esports and an absolute Minecraft enthusiast. I am the one that stands on the block and shouts, "Play Minecraft! It's the best thing ever." But with me tonight to share a bit more on that is Johan van Lille. He is a very well-known South African radio personality, an author, an educational specialist. And beyond his work, he's also deeply engaged in our childhood development and inclusive education as part of the learning and development team, and also one of the project coordinators for the Kiro Learning Support team and training. So, Johan, welcome tonight. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this. And above all of this, I have my own neurodivergent child. So I'm also deeply embedded and who is a gamer. He is a gamer through and through. He defines his life through it.
Well, that's good to hear because that's exactly what we want to share tonight with our parents to show them and to just guide them a little bit on why is Minecraft such a unique tool that will foster creativity
Hmm.
and problem solving, where you can connect through Minecraft with your child. We will be looking at benefits of playing for mostly of this webinar, of actually playing together. And we will just touch on some things like screen time and online safety. But if you want a more in-depth webinar or in-depth view on screen time, please go have a look at the Learner Support YouTube channel where they have a screen time webinar that we did a couple of weeks ago that you can get a lot more information and resources right there. Right, Johan, so let's start off with the power of play and digital bonding. So we've divided it in a couple of different sections tonight to just look at all of the various aspects when it comes to playing together. Before we continue, sorry, I forgot to mention we've got a Q&A section. So if you have any questions throughout the evening, please use the Q&A. We will reply to all of the questions at the end of the session and also take some extra questions just at the end. Right, so Johan, the importance of play, how do you feel about that? And
I'm so
playing
glad
with your child.
yeah, I'm so glad you start with that because play is so underrated and people always think that they should know everything of play because they've been playing their whole life. So it is an underrated topic. It is a science on its own. Millions of scientists have done so much research on it, and we still believe that we are born with all the knowledge about play because it's like so many people know everything about school because they've been at school. So play is a wonderful thing. And I don't want to give you a lecture, but it's all about sharing, it's all about cooperation and conflict resolution, all those kind of things you learn through play from a very young age. You can learn to navigate social norms within the first 18 months of your life. So if you don't learn it there, you will never learn it. So you need to experience it there. That's why it is so important to play in the sand, like literally in the sand pit, because that's where you learn all these kind of things. So you don't need, and interesting is that play is the thing that builds empathy and promotes harmonious peer interactions. And this was already researched in 1932, so nearly 100 years ago, they already established that. So, and then they did not have all these fancy tools and Minecraft like we have. And then the thing that what the research shows us is that children who cooperatively play together, have a much higher social competence. And what is interesting is that all the research we're doing now is to see, are we transferring that to online? And is it the same for online? And is online kind of the better way or not? But I don't want us to ask those questions because it's two different worlds, it's complementary, and I am a foreigner to the digital world. My son took me there. So and it's best to think of both worlds. But the thing that parents are most most interested in is for some reason is cognitive development. They want to know the brain, if it's developing. I'm more interested in the social development, but your brain and that's where Minecraft is so amazing, because we call it a sandbox game, because it's all about sandboxing, and because it's so open, it's so open and it's open-ended, and we encourage, even if you learn a new language, they ask you open-ended questions so that you can think. And Minecraft is just one big open-ended experience. And interesting enough that Vygotsky is a very famous psychologist. He was in 1978. He already identified that if you do play open-ended games, doesn't matter how it is, but if you play open-ended games, it's brilliant for your cognitive development. So that's why we use this in language development, and that's why it's so important when you play online games to look for do they have is it open-ended. That's it. And then abstract thinking, language development. For me, interesting enough, my son he grew up Afrikaans, but his English is so much better than his Afrikaans, because he's been playing online games all the time, and I'm considering to put him in the English class, because he's so much better when he struggles to express himself, especially when we have an argument. I should just say it in English. So we fight in English. I fight better in Afrikaans, but we fight in English, because it's just he's so used to that. And then playing is also the best way to develop the brain, to get involved with complex things. To start growing strategy. Now you hear these words I'm saying, and all of that are leading into things that you develop through Minecraft. And then the other thing that we always forget is that play, like normal play outside, physical play, develops a lot of emotions and emotional development and how to manage your emotion. So children that grew up in flats, like they're like unsafe areas where it's very small and like little, we call it like little sandboxes, where they kind of in a flat. Emotional development is a big challenge for those children, because they did not have the open space to play in. So that's done by Pellegrini and Smith in 1998, and said the danger of growing up in a flat for children is not that, falling out of the window, but it is because it is such limited space. And play helps them to understand their own feelings, which we want them, and also winning and losing is a very that you learn through playing. And then also that bonds, those that during cooperative play, if you play with your child, no matter what you play physically, there's a bond between the two things. So and play is the best way to develop and literally kind of expose you to bonding with someone. That's what it's so interesting with neurodivergent children that are the brains are developing different, like children living with autism. They have no need for the bonding, so they don't develop through this. So for them, it's totally different. But when they go online, it's totally the opposite, which is so there's a study going on about that. Why do neurodivergent children go online and they have this need for bonding and being part of it? Take them off their phones, take them off that. They have no need, they don't develop through it at all. So it's an open field. Sorry. Next question. I can go on and on.
I know you can go on and on. I almost stopped you, but it's so interesting to hear how you've summed it up, that there's actually so much more ways to develop through playing Minecraft that you might not
Mm,
use you get through traditional play. And
mm,
I think I can share this story with you. Is I have when I started thinking of this specific webinar topic on how to play with your child, it actually came up by listening to some of our Kiro staff who play Minecraft with their learners, because every single Kiro staff member and learner has a Minecraft education license. It's part of your Kiro package that you get. So we have some of our staff that's actually spending time playing Minecraft with their children. And they say, or lots of feedback that I get is that suddenly they understand their child a little bit better because of the way they approach problems. So now they are looking at a specific opportunity inside the game, but they approach that struggle or that opportunity. I mean, something as simple as mining for diamonds. So, for those of you who know about Minecraft, you need to go very deep into the ground and go and mine hundreds of blocks to get to diamonds. And there's a couple of ways that the child can approach this. And by looking at how your child actually tries to overcome this problem, gives them an insight on how they will approach problems in real life and when they get a
Ma-
test.
Yeah, Max, can I come in there? But it's so
Yeah, go for it.
interesting. Is traditional play is very goal orientated. You want to play with that doll, you want to put it on your clothes, you want to drive through it. What what makes Minecraft so interesting is that it requires from you to work through multi-step challenges. And that's where Minecraft is so complementary to normal physical play. I don't want to use normal, but physical play versus digital play. So apart from other games, this one you have to, and that multi-step challenges that you need to master is an important life skill. And they started doing that research in 2015, and they're still standing with it. Shoot is the person who did that, and he's still standing with it. That say problem solving, developing through this is that multi-step way of approaching challenges.
Definitely. And that's exactly what happens there. And also part of that is how your child manages conflict, right?
Mm.
Because now you have this problem and you might be playing and trying to overcome a specific challenge, which, like you say, is multi-layered. You need to get this, to get this, to get this, to get this. And if you can't, they get frustrated and how they actually go through that whole process. Because in this specific story, what had to happen is this dad had to go and mine diamonds with his child. And the little boy had to explain to dad, okay, dad, first you have to get an in Minecraft, for those of you who know it, if you don't, I'm gonna probably talk Greek now, but you will eventually find out hopefully. But you need to get a certain type of pickaxe to get to diamonds. But before you can get there, you need to get iron. Before you get there, you need to get stone. And so it's a whole step that you need to get there. But this little boy got so frustrated with his dad because his dad just couldn't remember what they were supposed to do, and he couldn't grasp the concept right at the beginning between breaking and building. So now he was breaking stuff when he was supposed to be building stuff, or building stuff when he was supposed to be breaking stuff, and having to talk through that conflict with his child really opened a different line of communication, a different type of bond that he created with his child. So
Yeah,
I
what
think
is so
that leads us into our next one. Yes.
before we say that, what's so interesting is that my child, he's got two worlds. The one is like prove me, like it's like he's got his own world, and then there's a duplicate where we can play, where I can mess it up. So it's like the roles were just reversed, so that I'm not messing up his world.
That sounds very familiar. I usually
Mm.
do that if I have to do training. I don't share a world. Yeah, anyway, but well, talking about that is using Minecraft as a tool for bonding, for family bonding. Now, Minecraft, like you said, is such a diverse and open sandbox game, meaning there's different ways that you can play. You can either play what they call in creative mode. That means all of the blocks are available for you to break and build just as you want to, or
Mm.
survival, where they have to work together as a team and to overcome challenges with specifically that multi-layered challenges that they've got going uh, to get stuff. So how does this look for you? As do you think it's really a good way of bonding as a family?
It's interesting. This conversation started with long ago when people were literally playing on the old kind of games, and we called it parallel playing, where people play together, but they did not spend time together. So it was like parallel time. So we didn't count that as parent children, like child quality time, because they both were busy, but they were not engaging with each other. They were engaging just with the screen. So that is important concept to understand, which Minecraft did and changed, was that it's now collaboration. So you have to interact with each other while playing. So it's not only chasing the little car and winning on the side and you busy with that, but also although we're driving together, we still parallel playing. But with Minecraft, you have to engage, you have to talk to each other, you have to look at things, and that kind of turned that whole strategy of parallel playing. It gave it a new meaning. So the first thing is that because Minecraft is all about problem solving, and it's very difficult for parents to find ways to do problem solving with their children apart from solving the chores of the house and all the family. There's always a problem connected to it, which is not what problem solving is. Problem solving is a positive thing. So in families, it's always connected to something negative. You need to, well, what are we going to solve the problem of the bathroom? Are we going to solve the problem of your room or the garbage of all of that? So this is a positive way of approaching problem solving. And for me, what I do is I'm not a gamer. I don't enjoy this. It's growing on me, but I mean, I like Lego. I'm a Lego person, and if you've seen it, there's a little thing. So I would rather do Lego than this, but it's growing on me. But what is important for me is that conversation after they've played. And that's where the real connection come from, where you prompt them to say, share your ideas, because you would be amazed how they're going to tell you in detail what they've done and how they can remember all the steps that they've done and how they solved this problem because they could not get rid of this and they could not get rid of that and how they
Mhm.
worked around it. Now, for me, that language makes me excited, much more than solving problems with tidying up your room. So, and that's where the bonding comes in, is to really experience that with your child. So you can see your child solving problems in action. And I learned a lot from my child of how he's solving problems, and we could talk about it afterwards to say I would have done it differently. Although I can't play this game, but I would have done it differently. I would have done this and this, and then he kind of convincing me that that was not best way of doing it. There's a reason why I did it differently. So then you have conversations on a totally different level. So in that bonding, where we then talk about like equals, it's not that father son kind of conversation. It's a conversation of like two little grown-ups talking about something that's important without being disrespectful or undermining all those different things. And then also, what is important is that it gives you the opportunity to celebrate little wins. You don't have to wait until the end. And then also to think about and reminding them that it's all about the little wins in life, and that's how you kind of get to it. So for me, that's important. And then also, if you play together, you can set goals, you can do so much more with it. But the big thing is that you don't have to be a Minecraft person, but you need to engage with the things that you feel safe with. So, and that's problem solving, managing relationships. If you can't do something, the growth mindset of Carol Dweck, that you're just not there yet. That's the kind of conversations that you can have through Minecraft, and it's real for them because it's so difficult to find situations that are real for children. Minecraft is real for them. It's an issue. It is real issues. They have to get and make this work. So they feel strongly about it. And they give strong opinions. So you can argue with them about things and you can really solve problems. So that for me, that bonding is the essence for me about Minecraft. And I can see it in my own child that when we talk about Minecraft, it's an important discussion. It's not just me setting the rules. It's going about life.
I think Minecraft is such a unique world, and we will just touch on it a little bit later on how things are, developing in the game itself and the progress and the levels she can
Mm,
achieve to, those that goal setting that you were talking about.
mm,
It
mm.
lends itself so well to that. So you put certain goals in mind to achieve it. But then what would you say to a parent who feels that gaming may pull their child away from offline friendships or family time? that it interferes with that.
Yeah, see, that's where that whole screen time thing comes in. But for me, it's not about screen time. It's about finding the balance between the physical world and the digital world. And you need to find a good balance between the two because you can't ignore the one or the other. So it's very much the Harry Potter philosophy in that little thing in the beginning of the movie where it's like the one can't live without the other. So it's the same here because the digital world will be for now, for a long time with us. We don't know what is the next step. We're waiting for Elon Musk to come up with that. But for now, so you need to make peace with that, that there's a digital world and there's the physical world. And we need to spend enough time in both and not stand at the front of the gate and push them into the digital world and say, off you go, come back, I'll wait for you outside. So it's a matter of joining them there and taking them there. So for instance, a risk taking in the physical world can end up being a tragedy. But risk taking in the digital world can end in tears, yes, but not more than that. So especially with Minecraft. So in a very safe, so that's where the digital world comes in. You can talk about risk taking and taking risks without physically getting harmed and learn a lot from that, where risk taking in the real world is something totally different. So yeah, so because I still refer to Minecraft as a sandbox environment and an environment where children's imagination can run wild, but so can parents. Your imagination, all the things that you really dream for your child. Like for me, I just want my child to be one day a problem solver. I want him to make a difference where he goes, and I want him to be happy in his work. We play that out in the digital side because there we can work that. We can't always do that in the physical world because there we have to worry about who's going to make dinner, who's going to take out the garbage, and all those things.
Well, I mean, to chase after spiders and get rid of them in the digital world is so much more safer and less, grilly than in the real world. And that you can do in Minecraft without our issue. That whole risk, yeah,
Mm.
I agree with you 100%. So we were talking about the benefits of, or how it creates a bonding experience. But what specific benefits can you highlight for us about co-playing or any practical strategies when it comes to playing with your child?
So I think the big one is the critical thinking. I think that is the big one. You as an adult bring a lot to the party for that. I also think that it because it is that multi-step challenge angle that is very important. I also think it's all about digital literacy, which is a big thing. I think we talk about digital literacy more and more. It's also very important because for STEM subjects, science, technology, all of that's so integrated in that. Although robotics and coding is a little bit, it's capturing at the moment. It's like, but I think Minecraft is so much more. I would rather put Minecraft in schools. And then it's all about collaboration. And for me, if you can create a safe environment for collaboration, I think that is the important thing. Being creative, developing imagination, which we always say we want to do. And then what is so interesting is we had for a long time, children were their imagination took them everywhere for when they were in preschool. And then by the age, there was lots of research done, but when they're grade 6 or 7, there's nothing left of it. And I think one of the solutions for not losing that is exposing them to the digital world of Minecraft, because that will keep and harness it and develop it so that we don't put them in little boxes because Minecraft is not putting it because it's so open-ended. Yeah, and then the last thing is the growth. It gives you those opportunities for those growth mindset discussions, which are not so loaded because there's a different way, a different discussion when your child did not make the first team versus having little risks that went wrong here and things that they wanted to accomplish but they couldn't. So you can practice and you can rehearse all these and kind of establish growing mindsets with them in this world, which I also think is a big benefit. Yeah. Anything else?
Ah,
Absolutely.
I
Mm,
couldn't agree more because it's all about that when we talk about the co-playing is
mm,
staying with your child to
mm,
achieve all of these goals, right?
mm,
A practical example from that would be you as a parent might not know how to do something and needing to talk to your child and say, okay, explain this to me. Why
mm,
is this the way to do it? But you as the adult, if your child says, I want to do this, and you don't know, you
mm,
can actually go and research it for them,
mm,
make sure they're not exposed to anything that they
mm,
should not be, I mean, it's still an adult gaming
mm,
is
mm,
not always child friendly, as we know. You
mm,
need to curate the info for your child, but it gives you the opportunity to actually go and curate something that they are passionate about and that they really want to explore and learn more. And the level of skills in Minecraft goes from
mm,
absolute beginner to
mm,
coding, actually, with Minecraft to build the whole pyramids and add decorations on the inside. So
mm,
if you as a parent feel out of your comfort zone completely, or you worry that you are not keeping up with your child, what
mm.
advice would you give to a parent that comes to you and asks these questions?
Well, I was one of those, so it was very difficult. I just started watching them, and then I just kind of made it out for myself. What is my role? My role is not to become a Minecraft specialist. I just wanted to know enough, and I was needed to make myself vulnerable enough to say I don't know anything about this. Call Max and ask her for advice. And then I said, "Well, show me how to do this." And then I had to be the learner there. And then I saw what my role is for afterwards. Like I watch him playing because it's interesting to watch him play, and I've learned so much about things that bothers him about while he's playing, things that I was always wondering about. It's playing it out because remember, play is still the best way for children to communicate where they are in their lives. So watching that is was important for me, and then so for you as well. So use the things that you are strong in. You watch your child and observe because it gives you that platform to do it. But then I think the best way is to clarify your role. And my role, I thought, was for afterwards. So the debriefing afterwards is very important. Because if you pick them up from school, you ask them, how was your school day? You kind of get this strange noise. And if you ask them, what did you learn? You get an even more kind of dismissive noise. So, but after Minecraft, if you ask them, what was the best part of today's game? They can't stop talking. If you ask them, what did you learn? It's amazing what they tell you about what they've learned and how they really want to share that. So that's your role. Your role as an adult is to ask those questions, not to become the Minecraft champ of the family. Yes, you can. And and I might admit that it can be kind of a bit addictive, but if you start getting into it. But that's it. So your role is important so that you also need to help the child to set clear goals.
Mhm.
What do you want to achieve in Minecraft today? Because you want to think them to think. They mustn't just go just online and play and play and play and play. Give them goals. Help them to find those goals without micromanaging it. And then also talk about making mistakes. That you can do as a parent also. Especially when something goes wrong then and you're there. I like to watch them play, and I think that's your other role is not to watch them to see what they're doing and they don't watch porn in between and all those kind of things. Your role is to observe to see where they get stuck. And I
Mhm.
think if you clear out that role for you, and that for me was a big mind shift of what is my role in this part of my child's life. I play a different role in the physical world than I play in the digital world. And what is so interesting in the physical world, I'm a caring parent and I take care of all the physical things and I give nurturing and love. But when I go into the digital world, I play with my executive functions. That's where problem solving, prioritizing, strategizing, all those things. And this is the platform for that. So that's just one thing I also kind of worked out for myself. Which role do you play in which world? Um, Even if you don't know that world, you've got the skills up here to do it. You don't have to need to know the game. So the most
Fake it till you
important
make it.
tip is that, yeah, the most important tip is take the skills you have into that world.
Yeah.
And that works. And then also, and that's part of co-playing. You don't have to sit physically with that thing, which I still can't remember which thing does what with the controls. Just being there, being part of the conversation. What is so interesting is that many times when you ask children how was their day, especially at bedtime, a conversation about what they've played is so much more bonding sometimes than
Or
anything else,
engaging, because they
and
start
engaging.
sharing.
Yeah, because they share, and if they know that you are interested, and if you ask the right questions, and that was the other thing that I had to work out for myself is what questions should I ask? What is, and that is
Exactly.
there you need some expert help. You need to talk to people about what you should ask.
Yeah,
You need to,
talk to
yeah.
them. Talk to the Minecraft experts. Or
Yes.
some tips from my side would be, almost exactly like you said, but I started with just sharing and asking questions while you're
Mm,
in the game. If you're physically
mm,
in the game, ask questions, you know? I mean, don't,
mm,
like Johan said, micromanage, but ask questions about the game. Ask about how they perceive it, their
mm,
emotional, that's why you are playing with your child, to engage with them and to bond with them on an
mm,
emotional level, you
mm,
know. So ask the questions and then let your child lead the session. Give the control over to your child and let
mm,
them lead this exploration session. And you ask them if, yeah, they want you to build a house, you build a house and you ask them, okay, what color, what blocks, how
mm,
high, how wide, is this wide enough? Why must it be 3 blocks high? Okay, then they will tell you because the door is 2 blocks high. Have the conversation with
mm,
them while you're actually busy playing it. And I think a big tip from my side would be don't play dumb for being dumb, for the sake
mm,
of playing dumb. If you really don't know something, ask them. They are the experts in the game. And if they don't know, they will probably tell you, or they will not tell you, but try and figure it out for
mm,
themselves. Whereby you are stimulating that whole, let's solve this problem. My mom wants to know this. How am I going to find that out? Um,
mm,
Another one is be in the moment, right? Be there while they are playing. Like Johan said, it's the observer.
mm,
Even if you're
mm,
not playing with them in the world, but you're sitting next to them
mm,
and talking with them and guiding them or just listening to what they're doing, don't be distracted by other things. When you are co-playing, it means you are actively busy with your child. You are not on your phone doing WhatsApps and Facebook and what have
mm,
you. I mean, there's other important things as well that needs to be done in the
mm.
house, of course, but for that little half an hour, focus on your child.
But
Um,
yes, but Max, what is also important is that you should earn their digital trust as well.
yes, that's a
It's two different. There's the physical trust that if they, you will, that thing of you will catch them when they jump, but you also need to earn their digital trust. Just can I share a little anecdote? My
yes,
my
please
son
do. Go
was
for it.
battling with something very, very heavy, and we could not find out what. He didn't have the language to tell us that. Oh, it was just something he could, and it was bothering from a long time. And then he showed me how to build a house. We build houses. And I said, but what does your house have at mine? And then he said, I've got a secret room. I said, but I also want the secret room. So we built one for me. And I asked him how to do it. And he did it for me. And then I invited him into my secret room and I put some very important things for my secret room. And then he said, okay, I'll show you mine. And then we went into his secret room, and there was a book where you can keep diary in it.
Hmm.
And I said, what is this book? He said, I'm going to leave you. You can read it. And then I've read that book. And that was the most important message that I ever got.
Oh,
So it's that trust, that digital trust of, but then you have to do these kind of things because building a house is not difficult in Minecraft. Anyone can do it. If you can play with Lego, you can build a house. But that's an example of digital trust.
mm,
So allowing you, and I mean that's only one of the many, many tools they've got in Minecraft. So we
yeah,
learned so much about that, and it
yeah.
solved a big. I was phoning the psychologist. I'm paying you so much. It's all about it's about the Minecraft subscription, which we get for free at Kiro.
that that is such a cool story. I need to write this down because
Mm.
there's so many tools in the app, in the game itself, like the book, what you can use. You can use it for a journal.
Mm.
I didn't even think about
It
that
was
for myself
in
as well. I am gonna go and do
Atelier, it
that.
was in detail, every little thing. It was built up over days, and I
That
could
is
read it like a
absolutely
book, and it was
fantastic.
a mind opener. And it was his safe space. His safe space is in the digital world. So he was sitting at the psychologist, but luckily the psychologist is also a gamer. So
Oh,
in that
fantastic.
kind of work, and I think he was encouraging him to do that. But again, and it was such a soft way for
But
him to allow. But that
you
digital
had
trust is very
yeah,
important.
you had to
Mm.
wait for him to open up and invite you into that sacred space that he's built. Because he probably
Yes.
put a lot of work into creating that safe space, which he might not have
It was
felt in the
it
physical
was
world.
beautiful. It was done with diamonds and all those kind of
Oh,
wonderful things that they that are
well,
precious to them.
another practical tip that I can give for parents is go and Google something like the 100 things to do in a survival world or
Mm, mm,
specific creative goals to achieve. You will
mm.
get lists and lists and lists and lists of what to do. And by deciding between the two of you what of these goals you want to achieve by in 2 or 3 months' time, you you can actually, set that up for yourself. And also use it as a bargaining tool. I mean, we are building this castle in Minecraft. We need to build the same castle in the laundry basket with all of the washing.
What we did, Max, is that we punished him with locking up some of his things in Minecraft. So
Wow.
it was a digital punishment for a digital thing that he did wrong. So it's also great to use a digital punishment for the digital world and a physical
Oh,
puzzle, which was great because we locked up some of the things, and then it was he never did it again. So and I think it's that balance between
yeah.
and again, if you're clear on your role is not to become the best Minecraft specialist. Know just enough so that you know what's going on. Google Minecraft terminology for idiots. That's enough for you. But you need to bring your adult skills to the
Mhm.
digital world because then you will feel safe. It's just a different room. It's just a different environment. It's just a different world, but the same skills apply.
Yeah, exactly. I can, both of us can talk for hours on
Mm.
this, but let's go on to the next
Mm.
part of our session, which we will just touch on screen time and online safety.
Mm.
So I did mention we had that whole webinar on screen time. We touched a little bit
Mm.
on online safety and creating healthy boundaries so you have a healthy environment. I really encourage all of you to go and watch that webinar. But a great thing about Minecraft education version, now the education version is a version that we have at Kiro provided to every single Kiro child. And you and your child can sit together, each one on your own device, the same credentials, or you can, use your brother's credentials or a sibling's um, to get onto the same world or reach out to a teacher if you need guidance on that as well. But that's how you can basically sit next to your child and play together. You in your own little world and them in their own little world. Um, and the Minecraft education version has been safeguarded that not anyone can join any
Mm.
game. You have to be invited by a specific code, and you
Mm.
also have to be within the Kuro bubble. So you can't invite a friend from a
Mm.
different school, a different Kuro school, yes, but not a different
Mm.
school. There's no unauthorized adults in your worlds or can reach your child or chat with your child at all. So that creates this little safety
Mm.
bubble for you in the education version. However, you still have other Minecraft versions. You have the
Mm.
Minecraft Bedrock, Minecraft Java, which is a different skill set sometimes for them to learn. And
Mm.
there's servers and various groups
Yeah.
that your child can
Open, yeah.
join. Yes, it's open. So your child can jump onto any server and they can start chatting on that server, and you don't know who's chatting with your child. So um, if you are playing and co-playing and you want to use a version or you have access to those types of versions of Minecraft, just be aware of things like that. Um, for some
Uh,
more info, you can go to Common Sense Media. Yes, sorry, Johan.
mhm. Yeah, again, with that, Max, it's so important. there's a narrative that started with parents that I'm allowing you to play it. It's like I'm not for it, but I'm allowing you to play it. It's like the babysitter that I don't really like, but it's the only one that's available. Um, that's where you need to make a mind shift. I'm not allowing you, I'm encouraging you to do it because we're living in both worlds. And so when you say it's time now to do the physical thing, it should not be a punishment. It's just now time for the physical world, and then it's time for the digital world. And the one is a trade-off for the other. So it's not
Exactly.
that you have been on screen the whole day, now it's time to go outside and play. That's not the narrative that we want to create because you've been on screen the whole day at work. And then
Hmm.
you have the need to do something physical. So that's the same thing. Both is right. Both of them are right. You just have to make that mind shift. It's not like I'm allowing you to do it. I'm encouraging to do it. And then have a trade-off and have a balance between that so that they and make them part of that to say, okay, we have to be in both worlds together. How are we going to do this? We can't be more in the one than the other, or we can only send 40% of the time for this and 40% of the time of that, because I also bring in school time and home time
Hmm.
and digital time. I kind of bring all those elements in, and then depending on the time of the year, we decide which ones will be in the green, which one will be in the red, and all of that. So sometimes I will say the digital world is a little bit in the red for us now because we need more time in the other world, but we will make up for it so that we can spend up so that it can balance. Remember, children don't understand balance until you give it to them visually. So they need to know when are things in the red, in the green, and all of that. So they will know that if they spend too much time in the digital world, that the physical world is now hungry. So we need to feed the physical world again because we need to take care of both of them. And
Hmm.
that's a big mind shift from allowing children to do it, but to encouraging them to do it with responsibility. And then you need to model that to them. Otherwise, they're
Especially,
going to do it behind your back.
yeah, they're definitely going to do it behind your back. I mean, it's being done behind teachers' backs. And like you said, it's all about modeling it and giving
Hmm.
your child those kind of adult guidelines,
Hmm.
um, because you want them to also remember to go and eat or take a bathroom break.
Hmm.
As a Minecrafter myself, you can get lost in the time that goes by in the digital world. And once you start playing along with your child in these worlds, you will start to realize how quick things happen. So another practical tip for you to manage the screen time would be to use a timer that's visual somewhere. Like
Hmm.
Johan said, they don't understand balance until they see it physically. The same way for time. Kids don't perceive time the same way we do as adults. So to give them that physical, although sometimes I'm also time blind, but anyway, they have to have that visual sign of the timer. And if you give them a
Hmm.
warning or a reminder, okay, we have 20 minutes
Hmm.
left, they will start to prioritize what is important, right? What's important that we need
Hmm.
to finish? We only have 20 minutes. Let's think. Let's strategize.
Hmm.
What must we do before we can sign off for tonight? Um, if then you warn them again 10 minutes from now, that you are giving them an expectation that things are going to end and we are moving out of the digital world into the physical world, and they get used to it,
Hmm.
and then you give them a 5-minute warning. It's just
Hmm.
such a good tip that you can do it. You can give them that kind of positive spin to you have to stop playing now to okay, we are nearing the end, so let's plan and find out what still needs to be done. I
Hmm.
mentioned Common Sense Media earlier about because we've got a question in the chats about is Minecraft scary? Now, Common
No.
Sense Media, it's
Oh,
not,
yeah,
well,
at least.
it depends. um,
Switch mode you play.
which mode you're playing in. So, Common Sense Media is a website that you can go and look at, not just about Minecraft, but about all games your child plays and what is in that game. The level of violence, the level of language used,
Hmm.
all of that you can go and see in there. So, Planet Minecraft, Minecraft Wikipedia is a couple of resources where you also can go and find some information about the content, the terminology. But I want to encourage you to go and look at curated creators. Creators like, I'll put the names in the chats for you so you'll have that a little bit later on. But Wattles, Pixel Mythical Sausage, Mumbo Jumbo, They sound very strange, but those are absolutely amazing content creators, which are child safe and child friendly. So they can actually start playing. When they play, you can actually see all of these various things that you would consider scary. Now, yes, there are. If you can see in my background, we've got a little zombie over there, and there is a little skeleton, and there's some spiders all over the place, and some, I think that's a creeper. Now, creepers explode when you get too close to them, and the first time it happens, you get a fright, and the second time it happens, you know to run away. So your child also realize, they start learning that whole when is danger close and how must I react to it. If you turn on night and you're not expecting a zombie to be behind you and your child is 6 years old, yes, it's a scary game. If your child is 13 or 14 or 15 years old and they see and they know what to expect, they know what's coming and they know the game modes, no, it's definitely not a scary game. So, yeah,
Um,
I think go and have a look at that. Anything else you'd like to add on this topic, Johan?
I want to add something about this managing the screen time thing, which I think is many people will say you need to have these detox days. It's a nightmare. If you've ever enjoyed any detox, there's something wrong with you. Even I mean, I try to detox my body often, and it's horrible. So what we did was we tried to find things that are in both worlds. So, and the one that worked well for us is there's a wonderful online Monopoly. So when we play Monopoly sometimes together because we both like it, and when we have a day without digital or technology, we play the old box version. And he enjoys that much more. So sometimes he would, but he wants, sometimes he will crave that and then invite me into the digital world to play there with him as well, because it's all about that bonding. And so a detox day should be again not a punishment. It should be something exciting. It should be something that's complementary to the two. It's not that you're now going to balance it out. You just want to get them off the screens and all of that. It's finding that balance is the big thing.
Yeah, it's all about how you can embrace, it positively. How can you
Mm,
embrace this whole change more positively?
mm,
Let me just see where we are a little bit. I think we are, yeah, we're still good for a couple
mm,
of minutes. But so Johan, how do you see this whole digital playing evolving to the future so that families can embrace this as a positive change or a positive thing in their households instead of seeing it as
mm,
this negative, challenging, my child's spending too much
mm,
time online, how can I, get rid of it, to, ooh, we can actually use this as family bonding time.
mm. Absolutely, and you can again if you're very clear on your role. So first, find out whose role is what your role is, establish that, get weekly Minecraft goals, what's going to happen, and set those goals and be part of those goals, talk about it, and then also establish family projects, which some of them are in the digital world with Minecraft. Building, I know families sometimes build their house, they duplicate their house online in Minecraft because it's possible. And then they discuss all the different issues and why things. And so get those family projects is a good thing to. And I think that opens up the whole new dimension of parenting when you create this home and why it's like that and you build all of those things. And then also use Minecraft as a springboard. That's where we're going. We're going into that direction where we start using these games for com complicated, difficult, challenging conversations in a very safe environment. Um, and where they can take risks and you can talk about the risk. I think that for me is one of the biggest things going forward, and that's the education behind it. And I think going forward, I remember when I was a child and we really wanted one of those VHS video machines. And I can still remember where my dad said, it's only a phase and it will go over. He was right. I mean, he was very right. I mean, there's no VHS tapes anymore. But I mean, it took a few years for that, but we didn't get that. So it was very disappointing that we could not. So it would have been better for him to kind of join us, but I think it was more a financial decision. But for me, that is the thing. If you don't have to join that world, you just need to know your role in that world. That's empowering.
Exactly. It's to know your space. We've got a question in the chat as well, about a specific channel. I'm quickly looking at that for you,
Mm,
so we will get to that
mm,
answer in a bit. But I think we're almost out of time, so let's
mm,
jump on quickly to the last a little bit that we can share with our parents for today is to what so practical tools that you can take away from this. I think from my side, it would be get a specific bank of resources and reach
mm,
out to your coach or your esports coach at your school, or even to your one of the teachers, and ask them
mm,
for more information on this. There's a
mm,
lot of online sources that you can go and have a look
mm,
at, but it's also important that you, like Johan said, use your adult brain. Think about the adult side of this whole play together that you can put in place. You are the one who can set up boundaries, but chat with your child, have the conversation and saying, this is what needs to happen in the physical world. We want to do this in the digital world. Let's see how we can get that done. Um, I wanted to do a little bit of a demo in the educational version, but I don't think we're going to get to that. But I challenge you now after tonight to go and play with your child and ask them to show you all of the various things that they are looking at and all of the various lessons and that's available in the app itself.
mm,
There's a lot of stuff that you can go and have a look at. Go and look at sources. Go and watch some YouTube content creators, and I promise you, you will find someone that um, is doesn't have a lot of uh, adult language in it. That's child friendly. Does not encourage violence. Be a bit careful of Twitch channels. Don't just
mm,
go onto Twitch. Remember, Twitch is live. That means things happen right now. It's not recorded. So what can happen is, uh, some things can slip, and so forth. So it's important that you need to keep that
mm.
in mind. Johan, anything from your side before we go to questions?
I think we've covered most of it. That's just the last thing is just what I made out for myself is I did not really join the world as more as that I've started watching it and
Mm,
observing it. So watch your child play. I know it takes time and I know it can be very boring. So sometimes I take my laptop and I just sit there and with one eye on the screen in here, but watch them play because you will be amazed with how skilled your child is. It was I saw a different child going online and how powerful he is online. So that's another thing to celebrate as well, because what they are online sometimes maybe people say that it doesn't exist, but it does. It's a world. They are huge there. I mean, my child is like the president in his world. He's like very important.
Well, that's true. They are the creator of that world. They
Mm,
are the
mm,
curator of that world.
mm,
They decide what goes and what does not
mm,
go. So if you are privileged enough to be
mm,
invited into their virtual sanctuary,
mm,
I think that should be something that each parent should cherish and encourage. Because your
mm,
child opened up a very, very important part of themselves by inviting
mm,
you to join and play along. Or even, do a little demo session where you say, okay, can I try this? And have
mm.
them guide you. Something as simple as putting their hands on top of your hands to guide you in playing this whole game in the different ways there that it can possibly be. Um, yeah, I think that is it. So the floor is now open for any questions. I will share the list of content creators that I really like with you as well. Then we've got a couple of questions I just want to answer live for everyone to hear. The version we are using at Kiro is the education version. It's Minecraft Education. Now, you do need a Minecraft Education license to play together in one world, but it is possible, specifically if you have a sibling in the house. If you don't have a sibling in the house, you are welcome to reach out, and we will see how we can support you in that whole process. Then I will share the link in the chat right now to the Minecraft Education website. The recording of this webinar will be posted on the Kiro Sport channel tomorrow, the Kiro Esports channel tomorrow, as well as I think there's another. Can we put this one on the CLS site maybe, Johan? We could
Yes, we
possibly
can.
request that.
Yeah.
We'll put this on the Kiro Learner Support YouTube channel as well, so you can have a look at it right there. And then I will put the content creators in chats for you as well. These are like I said, these are my favorites for creative builds, survival creative builds. They really encourage adventure and reaching specific goals at each different step in the game. But otherwise, yeah, I think that is it from my side. Thank you for joining us. I think we reached quite a few parents. If you still have any questions, please reach out to us. You're welcome to send me an email. I will put my email in the chats for you as well. So you can contact me directly for any questions Minecraft related. But otherwise, have an amazing evening. If there's no other questions, we are going to leave it there. Johan, thanks for joining and sharing your
It's lovely.
information with us, or your experience.
Thank you.
So before we sign off, what is your next goal in Minecraft with Lyle, and how are you going to approach that?
I really want to stop playing the creative one. I want to go into the other one. That's my next
Survival.
goal, the survival one. And I'm still too scared. So that's I need to. And he said he's going to take me there, but he said, "Oh, I'm not ready yet. So we will go there next year." That's our goal for over the December holidays. He will take my hand and take me into it.
I like that, because survival is a challenge if you don't know anything about Minecraft, but that's how you should start
Mm,
sometimes. And sometimes
mm,
you just have to jump into it.
mm.
One last note from my side. There is 2 other versions of Minecraft also, not just education. So I saw the question now. You can just go and search Minecraft .com. Sorry, I'm just looking for the right website that I can give you the right one. And in there, you will also find that is available on Xbox and console. Minecraft Education is only available on PC or on an Android phone or iPad. Right. Johan, you must have an amazing evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks everyone for joining, and we will see you at the next one. Join us next week for the Girl Gamer with Julia Robson. It's
Well,
going
that's
to
going to be
be
wonderful.
it's
Going to
going
be
to be
fabulous.
such a good session, and I cannot wait for that one. Okay. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
As ons daar afsit, is ons af. Ek kan nooit onthou nie. Nou,
Ek kan ook nie onthou of ons dis dan nou begin leave. New post. Thanks a lot.
Dankie Johan, lekker aand verder.
Dankie, is you happy?
Perfect.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Perfect.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.